This episode is brought to you by Resy and American Express. Resy is a digital platform that connects restaurants to restaurant lovers by elevating dining experiences, providing original industry content, and helping to fill some of the country's most exciting dining rooms. Because restaurants have always been more than just places to eat. The amazing world of restaurants is just a few taps away in the Resy app and at resy.com.
Raise the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. Start converting your B2B audience today. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started today at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
One of the things that has made Cervos really good and having an open kitchen and one that's so open is that you definitely feed off the energy of the restaurant.
Yeah.
Like you can hear the volume kind of turn up, you can feel people's energy, and that definitely pushes people to do a good job.
This is Taste. I'm your host, Matt Rodbard. Today in the show, we have a great conversation with Aaron Crowder. Aaron is the chef partner at two of New York's buzziest restaurants, Il Bar and Cervos. In fact, these restaurants are often mentioned on this show's Taste Check segment. I had a wonderful talk with Aaron about his Florida upbringing and what he's excited to cook this fall. And at the top of the show, Gilberto Cetina, chef at the iconic restaurant Holbox in Los Angeles, completes the Resy questionnaire. We talk about desert island kitchen appliances, food movies, and the best tacos in LA. It's part of a new reoccurring segment where Resy's editors, writers, and partner chefs will share compelling stories and discuss the latest in food and dining culture. I hope you enjoy this episode. Gilberto Cetina, welcome to This Is Taste. This is the Resy questionnaire. Are you ready to take it?
No, but let's go anyway.
I'm excited to have you on. Tell me, what is the favorite thing you've ever cooked?
Oh my gosh, favorite thing I've ever cooked. I would have to say it's a Yucatan-style pan francés. I'm not a baker, so I was very proud when, after working a few months on a bread recipe, it came together, and we actually ended up using that recipe we've been using it for the last 17 years to make our sandwiches at Chichen Itza, and for some here and there, some odd things at Holbox.
What was your favorite meal from childhood?
Favorite meal from childhood? Oh my gosh. Okay, so this, I hope I don't upset my mom. It's going to be my grandmother's puchero de tres carnes. And it's not necessarily because it was the best thing I ever ate, but it was a moment when aunts and uncles and cousins, we would all get together at my grandma's house, tiny kitchen. She would have this beautiful stew made with all sorts of vegetables, meats. It had pasta in it. It had rice in it. It had saffron. And then we would go to the backyard. She would send us to the backyard on a ladder to pick avocados off her avocado tree.
Yeah.
And that's the final touch of the puchero. We cut that avocado open and dice it up. Just great food memories of, family, times with family.
It's amazing. A kitchen tool or piece of cooking equipment that you can't live without.
Deba. Yeah, Japanese fish butchering knife.
Yeah.
Pretty much a single-use tool, and I'm not that fond of single-use tools because they just end up being clutter in your kitchen drawers. Yeah. But a deba is that knife that I just can't live without. Right now, if I'm going to cut a fish, I have a small deba, a medium deba, and a large deba.
Let me ask you, what's the knife rotation like? Are you replacing them every couple months, or do you have like the knife you
just use a knife once, and then I get rid of it.
No, I was like, that seems...
No, I tend to hold on to my knives for a really long time. I sharpen them myself, so I'm very careful. They last a long time. Really, I have a lot of knives. I have more knives than I need, but I really use 3 of them.
Yeah.
And I have 6 knives in rotation. Yeah. Got a deba, a chef knife, and a slicer, 2 of each. So I'm using one set, while the other one is dull or I haven't sharpened yet, and then I switch them out.
You switch them out once they're
Switch them out, yeah.
What about scissors?
Scissors are super important.
I would
too.
think so.
Yeah, scissors are super important.
Marisco's restaurant, you got to have scissors.
You do, man.
Yeah.
You do. We use them a lot. I mean, look, an oyster knife also for me,
Ooh,
super essential. Pin bone tweezers. There's a lot, but if there is one tool I would have to name essential for me, it's a Deba.
What are 5 items, culinary items, that you would bring to a desert island if you knew you had to live there forever?
First one, right off the bat, a fishing net.
Yeah.
Right? I'm on an island.
Yeah. Practical.
I need to get some fish. I would say salt, but I'm gonna run out eventually. So I would bring a large metal pan, shallow, that I can take out to sea, fill up with seawater, and then put it out in the sun to evaporate the H2O and just leave the salt behind. So that way I always have salt.
Yep.
So that's that. Obviously, I'm going to need a kitchen knife or a knife in general for cooking. So this would not be the Deba. This would be like an all-purpose chef knife. Habanero peppers. It's just such a great way to like spice up, make anything make something interesting. Give it a little
seeds,
spice.
you'd have the powder.
Exactly.
You grow
I would
it.
bring some peppers.
Yeah.
And then I would take the seeds out, put them out to dry.
Yeah.
And then plant them.
Mm-hmm.
And that way I can always, have a new crop of habanero peppers. And, I'm going to say a lighter or some kind of fire starter because I can't do that camping trick, start your own fire. So I would get tired of sashimi and ceviche eventually. So, yeah, I need a fire.
You would probably fabricate a grill, too.
I would. I love cooking over a live fire. So yeah, definitely something to start the fire with, and I'll figure out the grill.
Gilberto,
I'll make the grill.
You're built for desert island life. You're built for it as a chef.
I know.
Your style of restaurant. Not all chefs. Some of these tweezer guys, I don't think they can handle it.
Yeah,
not that you don't use tweezers. I know you use tweezers.
I love me a good tweezer,
you use
but
tweezers.
Not essential.
Yeah, exactly. Your favorite cookbook?
My favorite cookbook. Oh my gosh, there's so many. I'm gonna go with the Whole Fish Cookbook by Josh Nyland.
Oh yeah.
Because as I kind of developed recipes and just ways of working with fish, and working with fish, I mean receiving and storing, and we kind of stumbled upon things like dry aging. We didn't know what it was. We were just hanging fish from hooks because we had run out of horizontal space in the refrigerator. So we're like, if we hang them, we can fit more.
Save, yeah.
But we did realize that the ones that were hanging ended up being better than the other ones. And I was like, that's weird. But it wasn't until I read Josh's book that I was like, there's a science behind this. So that book is not only inspirational and just very well researched and just a great book, it spoke to me. It was about handling fish and breaking down fish, doing interesting things with all of the parts of the fish, things like charcuterie with seafood, which I was dabbling in already, but it was very experimental, and that book gave us a little bit of direction.
It gave you it co-signed on some of the work that you were naturally doing.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And it's just in general, I think it's one of the best, if not the best book of fish cookery ever written.
Has Josh ever hit the Resy notification or booked with you? Have you ever cooked for him?
Not yet, but I hope he hears this podcast.
Yeah, I think he might listen to it. I got a note from him one time. What is your drink of choice?
It's definitely not water.
All right, fair. That would be a not great answer.
Well, everybody tells me I need to drink more water. It's coffee. I love coffee. I drink coffee all day. So
okay, so Gilberto, what's the setup then for your coffee?
There's no setup. I'm a simple man with simple taste.
Okay, fair.
It is just regular drip coffee that we're making at Chichen Itza for our guests. I walk over from Holbox, grab a cup, and I just repeat that multiple times a day.
Your favorite food movie?
My favorite food movie is going to be The 100-Foot Journey.
Oh, great. Tell me about it.
I loved it. Well, it's a story about an immigrant family moving from India to Europe and how they struggle with culture, identity, bias and racism, and how food is such a big part of their identity as a family, and how they use that to create a new life for themselves while staying true to what their roots are.
Yeah. Big question. I'm asking everyone this. Your favorite taco in Los Angeles that you aren't making?
That's easy. Carnitas al Momo. East LA.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. It's just a family from East LA that's been making Michoacan style carnitas for a long time, and they know what they're doing. They do a very, very simple taco that is absolutely delicious, as good or better than anything I've had in Mexico.
High praise.
Very high praise.
How often are you there?
I try not to go more than once a month because every time we go, we end up buying like 7 or 8 pounds, and then we're eating it for a few days.
It's in the fridge for.
Just carnitas are delicious. They're not that good for you though.
Yeah, we block that out. It's moderation. Moderation.
Yeah.
Gotta always have that. Okay, list 4 industry people, living or dead, who you would love to cook for or have over for a dinner party.
Okay, look, Tony Bourdain. Just because I would have loved to meet him. I think he's an amazing journalist, amazing writer. He was a great chef. Just someone who I wish I would have met. Let's see. I'm gonna say Josh Nyland also because his book has been so inspirational. I'd love to cook for him, but maybe more cook with him to see if I can pick up some tips, some pointers. I would say Chef Victor Arguinsonis from Asador Estebarri. I just really love his philosophy of food, and I've been following him for at least 15 years. Ever since I first read about his restaurant and the whole idea of what he does and how he does it. It's traditional Basque cooking. It's definitely ingredient driven, but it's all fire cooked. There's no gas in his kitchen. No. That's one aspect of cooking that I love, open fire cooking. And he's an inventor. He makes his own kitchen utensils. He makes his own saute pans and stock pots that work in an open fire setting. I wanted to be an inventor when I was a kid. And I've lost that dream. I've lost that dream now to the culinary world. Yeah. I just love what he does. He's a chef and an inventor, and I really respect that.
I love that.
The fourth one would be Ferran Adrià. Just because, again, legend, would love to meet him. I remember when I was first learning about cooking, I stumbled upon some El Bulli recipes. And I'm like, okay, I don't know enough about cooking to even understand these recipes. And that's what kind of took me down the rabbit hole of wanting to learn more and understand. And come on, El Bulli.
El Bulli, yeah. Maybe it'll come back one day.
I hope not. I like how that
You like the mythology around it, that it was like one and it was done. I like that. Give us an industry person who you currently respect the most.
I would say Chef Victor from Asador Estebarri.
Yeah.
Everything that I mentioned, plus the fact that he does what he does, what he likes to do, which is be in his kitchen and cooking, I can really relate to that. That's what I enjoy the most. And he doesn't really care about anything else. No. He doesn't go to the awards. He doesn't do media. There's a book out there of his restaurant. He didn't write it. He was like, okay, write the book if you want. Just don't bother me. I'm going to be cooking.
It's amazing that he doesn't go to those awards, still gets World's 50, hasn't hit number 1 yet.
Hasn't hit number 1. And I'm happy he hasn't because he'll be phased out once he does.
Maybe he's happy though.
I think that's why he's number 2 because they don't want him off the list. I think he's like the favorite chef of the chefs. Chefs love him.
I think
because of the simplicity of what he does, and he's so true to what he does. Like, his food is an actual representation of him and his character.
Yeah. What is the greatest restaurant experience of your life thus far?
I'm gonna say I kind of have 2.
Fair.
I kind of have 2.
You get it. You get 2.
So one is the French Laundry. Why the French Laundry? Because it is one of the Thomas Keller is one of the chefs that I've respected, admired the most. His take on ingredients and on purveyors and on the importance of that type of thing. His obsessiveness with technique and perfection. And I have all of his books, and I've read so much about oysters and pearls, and then having the opportunity to taste it, and coffee and donuts, and the cornet at the beginning. And it was just surreal to be able to taste those things at the French Laundry. As a tasting menu experience, it is absolutely impressive, the level of technique and the quality across the board for 13 or so courses. Yeah. So that definitely was a highlight of my eating out life. I mean, the other one, very recent trip to Mérida, which is my hometown.
Yeah.
I've been part of Chichen Itza, now running it, and worked there for years with my dad. We own the restaurant. We've been making cochinita pibil every day for the last 24 years.
Yeah.
I had a torta de cochinita pibil sandwich in Mérida. Absolutely blew me away.
Better than anything you've ever had.
Better than anything that I've ever had. Better than anything that we've ever made. And it's just the little tiny details. Their bread was spot on. The ratio of fat to lean was perfect. The sourness of the pickled onions was spot on. It's not anything revolutionary that they're doing. Yeah. Just every single component of that torta was spot on, and it made it super special.
You seem humbled by this experience.
I was so humbled by this experience.
Yeah.
And my wife took me there. She knew about this spot. It's her family's go-to spot.
That's cool.
I'd never been, and I was skeptical. She's like, "I'm going to take you. You're going to." I'm like, "Come on."
A true chef always is skeptical of other recs when you do your own research.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to traveling back to Mérida to have that sandwich.
What has been your greatest professional achievement?
The Michelin star is something that I'm incredibly proud of, right? It's a group effort. It's something that the team as a whole earned. The distinction of being the only spot in a food court in the United States with the Michelin star is... it's special, right? It tells me, at least this is how I interpret it, that there's good food to be had in all different kinds of settings, from fine dining establishments with tons of money and beautiful tablecloths to mom and pop shops that are running on a budget and are making food that they're passionate about. I've always known that, but it's very, very, very important for me that organizations like Michelin are now seeing it that way too. So that's great. But LA Times Restaurant of the Year, that was big. I've always been very proud to be in some small part contributing to the Los Angeles food community. Yep. Ever since we got our foot in the door, started doing the Taste of LA and small events like this, and we started, hanging out with other restaurants and chefs. That's something that I said, wow, this is home. Like, I want to be a part of this community as long as I can. And for LA Times to call us, for not just LA Times, but Lori Ochoa, Jonathan Gold's wife, to call me and say, we picked you as the LA Times Restaurant of the Year. It was unbelievable. It was literally unbelievable. Like, I hung up and I wasn't sure that had actually happened. Jonathan Gold was one of our earliest, or if not our earliest, supporters at Holbox and at Chichen Itza. And I had the pleasure of working with him for one of the LA Times The Taste events, and we were co-hosts.
Oh, wonderful.
And after he wrote a beautiful review about Holbox, I thanked him, and he said, in a very Jonathan Gold fashion, he just paused for a minute and said, "Yeah, I think the food should be better in a few years." And my takeaway from that was like, I don't understand what you're saying.
Wow.
Is it good? Is it not? Did you like it? But I think what he was saying was, look, you're onto something. It's still early. Keep working.
But don't get high on your own supply.
Right.
Like, don't
exactly.
like let's evolve.
So the 2023 Restaurant of the Year for me was kind of a full circle moment.
I love that.
That whole Jonathan Gold, my journey and learning how to work with seafood, opening a restaurant, and it was just very, very significant on a personal level.
I love that. Is there a single dish that represents your personality?
I don't know. I'm going to say our sea urchin scallop ceviche.
Oh, cool.
It's simple. It's to the point. It tries to represent the ingredient, right? In the best light possible for the ingredient. Yeah. It doesn't do anything to it. It doesn't transform it enough so that it's not recognizable as what it is intended to be. Just barely enough done to it to put the dish kind of in the realm of Mexicanness. I don't know if that represents me.
I mean, that's my follow-up. Like, I'm reading this as like you're somebody who you are with slight nuances from here and there.
I don't know. I think I'm learning about myself with this question.
And your therapy session ends now. The bell has happened. Yeah, we're done with our hour.
Send me the invoice,
I'll send you the invoice. If you could go back in time and dine at a restaurant that's been closed, where would you want to go?
I love my Mexican food and culture and the history of it. I don't think there's a clear choice when it comes to Mexico or Latin America because restaurants evolved a little different than they did in Europe. They came from like fondas and evolved from there. So I'm going to go Europe on this one, and I'm going to go the Savoy in London.
Oh, amazing. Yeah.
I would love to see the moment where Escoffier developed and implemented the brigade system for the first time.
Yeah.
I love that aspect of cooking also. And even though it's not my style and it's not who I am, I'm a fan of all things culinary. Traditional cooking, mother sauces, French technique.
Do you believe in the brigade?
History. I do to a certain point, yes. I think it's a good way of organizing a team. It still works. I believe in a modified brigade system.
Sure. That's a great answer. What is your wish for the restaurant industry?
I know this is going to sound weird, but for now, immediately, I wish survival is what I wish for the restaurant industry right now. And it's really hard to talk about what I wish for the restaurant industry without talking a little bit about the current state of our country and politics.
Yeah.
And for survival of the restaurant industry, people have to realize how important immigration has been for the history and the development of this country. This is a big country that requires a lot of services for a lot of people. Immigrants have been doing a fantastic job of feeding America, of cleaning their houses, of doing all kinds of stuff. But not just that. As a newly minted U.S. citizen, as of 3 months ago, myself, and a person who started their business as an undocumented immigrant, when I opened Holbox, I was in the same boat that a lot of people are right now. So I can very, very clearly relate. And look, we are hungry and we build business and we create jobs, and just in general, I think the survival of service industries and farming and manufacturing is very unsure right now. So that immediately survival in the long term, for it to thrive, for the restaurant, the hospitality industry to be a place where people can have forever jobs and have living wages and be proud to be career servers, career cooks, career dishwashers, and
with confidence that they can remain in our country.
With confidence that they can remain in the country, that they'll have retirement benefits, that they'll be able to establish roots in this country. And all of that is up in the air right now.
Congratulations on being a U.S. citizen.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Timing was,
I thought that. What do you do well?
I think one thing that I do well, probably what I do best for the restaurant, is give team members enough space to contribute to the restaurant. What do I mean by that? Yes, it's very important for a restaurant to have standards and recipes and for consistency. But that being said, we are a restaurant that operates mostly without recipes. And yes, there are some. I mean, look, you don't mess with pastry, sauces, and marinades.
Yeah.
Those things need to be standardized.
Those are dialed.
Or else everything goes out the window.
Yeah.
But for a lot of the other things, I actually like to have slight variations from day to day in the product. And I think if you're able to find the right team member for a specific task, those slight variations will kind of ratchet towards improving the dish.
Yeah.
And I am constantly surprised every single day at Holbox at improvements that the chefs and the cooks, the dishwashers, the night porter are doing, are implementing, that are actually moving us in a better direction. Of course, sometimes that's not the case, and it's moving in a different direction, or the changes are being done to make their job easier, or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And then you correct, right?
Yep.
But allowing them to contribute in those little tiny incremental ways every day, I think is important. So not being a control freak, that's what I'm good at.
Yeah. What do you wish you could do better?
I really admire chefs that can transition from the stove to the boardroom. The ones that are like, yeah, let's open up 5 restaurants. Let's scale this. Let's create something big. They're entrepreneurs. They're restaurateurs, and they're also chefs.
Yeah.
Now, I don't necessarily know. I really have to think about this. If I wish I was better than that, I envy that or I admire that in other
Yeah.
in other
Because it maybe
people.
isn't your ultimate wish to be that person.
It's not me. I think I would lose my mind.
Yeah. You're happy with one.
I am very happy with one.
I love that.
I think that we have a special one that deserves focus.
Meaning
you know?
Holbox, of course. You have
Holbox,
other restaurants too. So, but we're talking about Holbox.
We're all talking about Holbox.
Yeah. If you could eat your way through a city anywhere in the world for a day, where would you go?
Tokyo.
Amazing.
Never been. Never been to Japan.
Wow.
Gotta go. Haven't traveled a lot. We talked about immigration recently.
Yeah.
So I haven't, there's a lot of traveling still to be done.
The one thing you can't resist splurging on when you're dining out.
Wow, I would say it's steak. I am I'm around fish all day.
Yeah.
Cooking it, tasting it, serving it. Love fish, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But when I go out, I see a nice 45-day dry-aged Wagyu steak. It's kind of hard to say no.
Wagyu is your move.
I like Wagyu. I was just trying to build the most luxurious steak.
No, of course,
for the statement.
I get it.
But it doesn't have to be Wagyu.
Yeah.
And also lots of times, most of the time when I go out, it's with my wife and my daughter.
Yeah.
They are definitely steak people.
Yeah.
So we have that in common, and we take advantage of that. We have that in common.
Where do you go?
Go for the big steak.
Where do you go in LA for steak?
We go to several places.
Yeah.
Our go-to place has actually gone. We're very sad. We used to go to, this was my wife and my daughter's favorite restaurant, and it was Tom Colicchio's Craft.
Yeah.
That was our go-to place, and we really miss it.
Missing it, but I'm sure there's some other spots you can have a great steak.
There's some
in
other
LA.
good spots, yeah.
What do you value most in restaurants?
How they treat their staff.
Yeah.
How they operate the restaurant and treat their staff.
It's your last meal on earth. What are you eating?
I'm eating my wife's cooking.
Yeah.
My wife is a really great cook. She cooks traditional Yucatecan food. She's also from Yucatan. We met there. Simple stuff, but very delicious.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be her milanesitas. Now, I think a lot of people know a milanesa as, pounded thin, breaded, beef or sometimes chicken. Hers are different. And I've never run into this recipe in a Mexican cookbook or anywhere else. Her family does it like this. It's ground beef with bacon ground into it.
Sure.
Nutmeg shaved into it,
Yeah.
and then breaded and fried.
So it's like a
insane.
fried patty.
It's a fried patty with
Yeah.
nutmeg and bacon, and you cut into it, and the bacon fat bursts out, and it's amazing.
So let's go there. What's the acidity in there? What's the whole thing?
All right, so ground beef,
Yeah.
ground carrots. So the carrots go through the meat grinder, through the mincer, so it's fully integrated. The bacon goes through the mincer also, and then the nutmeg, fresh nutmeg shaved in. You mix. Standard breading, so egg wash, flour, and breadcrumbs. It's served with pickled onions.
Yeah, okay.
And then, rice and beans, tortillas, avocado.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter.
No.
It makes the most fantastic sandwiches as leftovers too. So nice baguette or pan francés,
Yeah.
black beans, the patties, tomatoes, a little more acidity, and the pickled onions.
It sounds
It's
so
amazing.
incredible.
That
Wow.
would be my last meal.
Gilberto, what a great conversation. Thank you for taking the Resy questionnaire on This Is Taste.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. It was a lot of fun.
Today's episode of This Is Taste is brought to you by Grow Therapy. If you're navigating anxiety, depression, relationship changes, or something else, you deserve care that meets you where you're at. Grow Therapy is designed to help you find a therapist who fits your needs and supports the way you want to feel. Grow makes it easier to find the right therapist for you. They connect you with thousands of independent, licensed therapists across the U.S., offering both virtual and in-person sessions. You can search by insurance, provider specialty, treatment methods, and more to find a therapist who is right for you. Whatever challenges you're facing, Grow Therapy is here to help. Sessions average about $21 with insurance, and some pay as little as $0 depending on their plan. Visit growtherapy.com/taste today to get started. That's growtherapy.com/taste. Availability and coverage vary by state and insurance plan.
Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
Aaron Crowder, welcome to This Is Taste. It's really great to see you.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
I'm excited to chat with you. I love your restaurants. I do not know you. And I'm hoping this conversation we get to know you a little better. We were talking fishing off mic. Some people will go there. You're a fishing nut, and I love that. But I want to open and just ask you, as a chef, busy chef working and operating 2 restaurants, Cervos and Eel Bar, when you're not on the clock, where are you dining out right now?
I'm sure this is an answer that a lot of people have, but can't stop going to Haas.
Yeah.
Or Haas Snack Bar. I'm excited for their new opening, which hopefully will happen soon. I eat out around my house a lot. There's a new restaurant by the Yellow Rose people that's literally like 200 feet from my house.
So cool.
Rosemary, and I've been there a bunch of times. There's a diner near my house that serves Mexican food that I love.
You're gatekeeping it. I can tell.
Cannot remember the name.
I was like, Aaron, are you gatekeeping? No, it's cool. Like,
and I'm also going to say, not in New York City, but I go to the Catskills a lot, which we were just talking about. And there's a restaurant that's a Korean restaurant on the way up that also makes like the Korean rice wine.
Oh, yeah.
The name, Magali?
Yeah, Magali.
Magali, excuse me.
Absolutely.
And they also serve eel, which they catch in the river.
Oh, wonderful.
And it's amazing. And you can do a little research and find it yourself.
Okay, so this is a gatekeep situation. I've actually not been to that restaurant. I have an idea what it is, but let's just keep it that way.
It's one of the best restaurants that I've been to in my life, and I think that someone should figure it out.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, and we have a lot of writers listening to the show, so do your homework, writers, and head up to the Catskills. Aaron, tell me a little bit about food growing up in Florida. What was it like in your household?
So both my parents worked, and my mom made dinner every night. Sometimes like fancier than others, but it wasn't very much like a hobby for her as much as it was like she makes dinner every night except for Sunday nights, because she would make Sunday lunch after we'd go to church. And I didn't really think about it until recently about how big of a impact that had on me, but I think that it really did. And it was like lots of casserole.
Sure.
Lots of like chicken with salsa and cheddar cheese on it and brown rice. My mom made brown rice for some reason.
I mean, she's balancing it out. It's not just chicken, is it? She's doing the food groups.
And really she did an amazing job. And I think that like my relationship with my mom and cooking are very tied to each other, for sure.
I love that. So you're having home cooked meals many nights. Are you a restaurant family? Are you going out to restaurants? Are you discovering what restaurants can be as a career, perhaps?
Not at all. My parents, we would go to like the chain restaurants.
Yeah.
And it was like a big deal. We would go to O'Charlie's because kids ate free.
I love those.
We
had Carlos Murphy's. That was our version of it in the Midwest.
And there was a few different places that we go to that were a little bit more specialized. In Pensacola, where I'm from, there's definitely a lot of people kind of like connect themselves to Creole cooking. And we would go to some restaurants that were like that, and that was interesting. And I remember being interested by it, but this is definitely not the thing that like propelled me into cooking in any way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You're living your truth, and there isn't that origin story at childhood. So when does it start to light inside you that cooking professionally could actually be a thing?
So I started the only job I've ever had has been in restaurants, and I started as a dishwasher and a pizza delivery person. And I then worked at a Boy Scout camp for one summer. So that's my only job outside of restaurants. And then I just worked in restaurants. I worked doing coffee. I worked waiting tables. I then bartended all into my like early 20s. And then I knew that I wanted to move to New York. And in order to get my parents on the same page, I decided to go to culinary school.
Amazing.
And really it comes from like a love of restaurants. Like I loved working in restaurants at that point. I think that the social aspect of restaurants like really was what I needed in that moment. And once I went to culinary school in New York, it became like an obsession. And this is a big theme in my life. I definitely get obsessed with things.
Yeah. So tell me, why did you know you wanted to move to New York?
Because it's New York.
Yeah.
I lived in Florida. I'd come up here, going to like shows and like just hanging out for the weekend with like a group of friends that had already moved up here. And I mean, it's the energy of the city. Even now, like I lived here for 16 or 17 years. And as like a 40-year-old, I definitely want to leave the city in lots of ways, but there's something that always keeps me here. And it's the energy, and it's it's cliche to say, but
no, it's absolutely true, and you can't say it any other way. There's like undeniable energy. Tell me about culinary school and like just actually getting into the work and the craft of it, because your restaurants, you're very humble, and I really appreciate that, Aaron. And your restaurants are craft, and they're exceptional. And you come from like a very it's a modest background. You weren't traveling the world to discover these cuisines. You went to culinary school and you started working. So tell me a little bit about those early days.
So I went to culinary school, and culinary school was good in some ways. I think that it gave me a little bit of a background. But as soon as I was able to start working as an intern, I started doing that, which was at Marlowe & Sons, and then started cooking right away. And really, the things that I learned the quickest started in that moment. I learned a lot of French terminology in cooking school, and I learned how to make a roux. But even to this day, a lot of those things I don't use. But there are, techniques and just like ways of thinking about food that I started learning in the moment of starting to work in an actual restaurant.
So your externship is under Andrew Tarlow at Marlowe & Sons. You worked at Diner as well. And it's clearly an apprenticeship because you worked there for years. And I just want to get a little insight about what it's like working there, and really, what's the glue that binds these restaurants? Marlowe & Sons is no longer here, but what's the special sauce for an Andrew Tarlow restaurant in the back of the house? Because these are some of the most consistent restaurants and acclaimed restaurants for great reasons.
Yeah, it's hard for me to really speak to what they are now. I think that Roman's is a really good example of a restaurant that's done exactly what you're saying, as far as like being really consistent, both in just like high quality food, but also like an identity. I think that Marlowe & Sons and Diner has an identity of a neighborhood restaurant, at least when I worked there. And the people that ate there, although there was a lot of people from outside, it was very much like Williamsburg restaurant.
Yes, it was.
At that moment, we were cooking like quote unquote new American food, which had a lot of rules, but then also like not a lot of rules. And for me, I was able to cook a lot of different things really quickly. And I was working for Andrew Tarlow, but also my chef at the time, Sean Rembold, who I worked for 8 years, I believe, and under. We just worked on continuing that identity of like this new American food. And I think that shows in the restaurant as a whole. It's been a very long time since I've worked there.
Yeah.
So again, another like 8 years or something.
But it's an era, and like Sean Rembold, I'm so happy you brought up Sean's name, because I think when Sean really like opened Marlowe, it was like a huge moment for Brooklyn restaurants. Like it really defined a certain style of restaurant that you're articulating here. And Sean is somebody who also, like yourself, doesn't get as much press right now, currently at least, but one of our best chefs.
So it's hard to really say exactly like why those restaurants continue to be such important restaurants.
Yeah.
Seeing that a lot of the people that I worked with when I was there, and there was more people that worked there before me.
Sure.
But I think that it really comes down to identity and something that's recognizable. And I think that out of the lessons I've learned there, that's one of the lessons that myself and my partners, we talk about this a lot about, like, what are these restaurants and what do we want them to be? And then in the kitchen, it's even more specific, and we really stick to a certain direction. And of course, we can waver from it, but
no, but and this is a great segue to talk about Cervos and like the origins of Cervos and this tight focus, not just in aesthetics in the front of the house, but like really on the menu. There's a real energy for Cervos. Tell us how you and your partners came up with the idea for Cervos, and really, that location in particular. When you opened, it wasn't the obvious choice.
My partner Niles spent some time in Portugal on vacation, and he told my partner Nick, "You got to go here." And I think they went together. And I think on that vacation, they decided they wanted to open a Portuguese oyster bar, which doesn't really exist in Portugal. Mm-hmm. And they told me about it. I went to Portugal. I was super inspired. And we came back with that idea. Very quickly did we realize that an oyster bar in that moment wasn't the thing. Mm-hmm. And I think like how I wanted to cook as well really turned us into a full-fledged restaurant right away. And I think that within a few weeks, we were kind of like on the path. And of course, over many years, it's changed somewhat too. But that's the origin story.
Yeah, and it's an interesting. What year did you open?
2016.
Yeah,
I believe.
Yeah, it's a 16.
Maybe it's 16 or 17.
Yeah, it's a 16 opening or 17. And what struck me about Cervos was that in that era in 16, instantly it was like where all the food writers and editors were hanging out. It was like truly like this moment where like, have you been to Cervos? They're doing. And I think it has a lot to do with this idea of like you're tapping into Portugal and that this is a type of food and a style of service that maybe at that time in New York wasn't really being represented. But you had the BA editors hanging there. You had just food writers in general. What are those early? What's that first year like? Running Cervos and becoming like kind of an instant hit. This is my term, of course.
It's funny that you see it as an instant hit. Because I see it, like looking back, as it being like a long road uphill.
For sure. This is why we have these conversations.
However, we did get great press in the beginning.
Yeah.
And a lot of that has to do with like relationships we had. Like myself at the time and a lot of those writers, very same age.
Yep.
We knew each other. We kind of like we're speaking maybe the same language about the food that we wanted to eat at that time, and. I think that what we were doing was something that was also pretty easily recognizable. It wasn't covered up by like lots of crazy technique. It was really like, this is the thing, and this is the inspiration, and this is the direction. Yeah. And then on top of that, like we were really trying to make it taste very good.
Yeah. No,
I think everybody is in every restaurant, but like, yeah. So we got some good press for sure. I think that a lot of people think that when you get good press, it's just like you're on the top.
Yeah.
And I think that my experience is, you get a few weeks of a bump and then it goes back to like grinding to get regulars, to have really good nights consistently, to have people come back. And it's like you're just compounding. So it was great and it was hard.
Yeah, tell me about the hard part. I mean, it's a great insight into this is real talk from a real chef. Like, Cervos is a buzzy restaurant, and you've got Resy notifies happening. But what are the slower nights like in those early few years? Like, I mean, and what are the challenges?
Well, the slower nights, like any new restaurant, there's slow nights. And at the time when we opened, we had a garde manger cook, a grill cook, and a saute / expediter, which would be me, at least 5 nights a week, or sous chef at the time. And I remember it as being really fun, but also a little bit stressful. I think that on slower nights, at least now, is our opportunity to really, really focus in on doing it really, really well. It's our opportunity to like gain the muscle it is of cooking that you can continue on and not think about as much when you're busy, which, it's a muscle, and it's really hard to continue to get that right. So first year you're building, you're gaining muscle, you're working on the culture of your restaurant, you're like building relationships, and, again, I said this before, but, it compounds.
Yeah. What's it like working that plancha spot at Cervos? I just was in Barcelona and I had a great meal at Ultramarinos Marine, and they have the plancha spot as well. And I gotta believe it's a fun spot to work because you're just like facing all these diners, and anyone who knows the bar seats are the best seats at Cervos. And but also it has its challenges because you're just like literally right there with like all these diners, going through all the diners things, which is like meals that may have nothing to do with the food and just about maybe an argument or a celebration. But you must see a lot from that spot.
I mean, working the plancha, which I haven't done very much, to be honest, maybe once or twice.
Yeah, yeah.
I can only kind of like speak to what I've seen, but it's really it's a challenging station. The plancha is small. The restaurant is small, and we fit a lot of people in there. There's definitely working any station at Cervos, there's an understanding that people are watching you, but also you kind of get in this mode where there's an invisible wall.
Okay.
And even me, someone standing on the other side now and expediting, I can kind of tune everything out. However, I think that one of the things that has made Cervos really good and having an open kitchen, and one that's so open, is that you definitely feed off the energy of the restaurant. Yeah. Like you can hear the volume kind of turn up, you can feel people's energy, and that definitely pushes people to do a good job.
I mean, the second round of drinks hit, it's like literally turning up the volume. Yeah. I think diners feel it too.
No, for sure. And I think you could talk about that too. Like the design of our restaurant, which I think on the outside is just really, really beautiful, but also is really, really close. And I don't know if everyone knows it, but I think people want to kind of like brush up. People want to be in a place that is close.
For sure.
And it works there.
That's why we love dining out in New York, unless we're not loving being in these tiny spaces.
Sure.
But I think we love overhearing conversations. I mean, come on. Like that's just the best part about dining out in New York, and just like seeing people close by. It's why it's a contact sport at times. So what's it like being in this very special pocket of New York? Some call it Dime Square. Both restaurants are kind of in that pocket, you would say. And like through the course of Cervos, at least history, I mean, the neighborhood has changed. I mean, especially post-pandemic, that was like, and still is like one of New York's most important restaurant neighborhoods. Youth culture has moved over from Brooklyn to Dime Square. It's really a fascinating neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of energy there. It can be really busy. It can be really hectic. It can be a lot to manage on our end. When the pandemic happened and we were able to get this outside space, it started off pretty simply, and that thing has become a little bit more dynamic, and definitely something that we manage. But it's great to be in the neighborhood. It's great to see it change. I think that like in the beginning when we were there was also still a really, really like, palpable energy, and, labor across the street with skateboarders in the street, cars going by. It's always, at least since we've been there, it's always been a really great place, and it's changing. So.
What do you mean? You paused a little bit when you said it's changing. Is it changing in a way that makes it maybe more expensive? Maybe it's a different dynamic. It's less neighborhood and more like tourists are there?
I mean, all of those things are true, but I
Yeah.
mean, it's changing in the way it's just like there are a lot of people there all of the time. And
Kind of awesome for a restaurant.
it is awesome for us. Things change.
No, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So you opened Eel Bar last summer, and I think, I was just there and I shared with Eliza, just a terrific meal. I just love what you're doing there, and we'll get to some of the food shortly. But I want to ask you about the Basque region and what drove you to open your second restaurant. And just like the opening of a second restaurant is a huge moment for you.
So I think that both in Portuguese cooking and Spanish cooking overall, and then Basque cooking, the thing that draws me to those things and the reason why I feel like we can do a good job cooking them is simplicity. And the way I learned how to cook was, quote unquote, simple cooking. And I think that myself and the people that I work with, my sous chefs, we've really become like experts in this in the city, I believe. And I vacationed in the Basque region now a few times, and I love it. Like San Sebastian specifically is a place where there's just a concentrated amount of good food and a concentrated amount of good food that's casual.
Yeah. It's not just the Michelin stuff. And
no, I mean,
Eshtabari and all
honestly,
that.
I haven't really even dove into Michelin food there. It's for me, when I go there, it's about walking around, eating at many places, drinking wine, drinking vermouth, drinking cider, and eating small bites, which, is a cliche right now in New York restaurants. Everyone's talking about small bite restaurants or small plate restaurants, but
they're becoming small bites. They used to be called small plates.
For me, it's really just about being able to eat a lot of different things in one meal. I'm inspired by that.
Yeah.
It's been a challenge to get people to understand that and want to eat that way. And we're working on it. But Basque food in general, I think it really comes back down to just like simplicity and food that is super delicious, but also straightforward and understandable.
How do you fight this narrative? And I'll call it the pedestrian narrative, not to be a snob, but like this narrative that many have is that you go to a tapas restaurant or a pinchos restaurant, even a Spanish restaurant, and you're quote unquote not gonna eat enough or not be full. I feel that perception is probably something you've thought about.
We've thought about it a lot. We've talked about it a lot. It's something that we still are working on. I think that it really comes down to people having an open mind first, but also like it's on us to get people to order the right amount of food, and it's on the client to trust us a little bit. I always tell people, like, when there's more than two people at a table, like doubling up on things more than getting a bunch of different things is a great way to go. But it's hard. I don't know how we really fight against it, other than just continuing to do the thing you believe in and doing it over and over again.
Yeah, and
then people will trust us a little bit more as it happens.
Great point. You get word of mouth, you get return visits, and I think like on the service side, it's imperative that they suggest the right amounts, and it doesn't add up to be at least on the money side, to be a level where it feels like you've had a tasting menu. And that, and I think that narrative that's perception versus reality, because you actually order 10 dishes at Cervos, it's going to be on par with many other restaurants. It's not going to be that pricey. And speaking of doubling up, I want to ask you about your gilda, because to me, that is such a great dish. Yeah,
I really love it. I'm like, this is also a thing that we have to get people to trust us on. Yeah. It's a pickled cucumber. It's a Gordal olive. It's a really good anchovy. There's olive oil on it. It's right. We had this from the opening. It was an idea that I had based on something that I had eaten before. Not fully my idea, but like this is our version of it. I don't think we can actually legally call it a gilda, even though we do. And I think that's fun and weird too. However, it is a really, really delicious thing, and I'm excited to have it.
Thinking about these contrasts, but also using great products and presenting it in just such an enjoyable bite.
Yeah. So I was in the Pyrenees Mountains on vacation and ate at this restaurant, which I have no idea what the name of it is. And it seemed like it was kind of the lunch counter for everyone that lived in this town. And we had a skewer that had like a pickle on it that was like literally this big, like 2 inches across, a olive on the end. And it was weird. It doesn't eat easily. No. And I ate like 5 of them and they were so good. And I'm definitely inspired by weird.
Yeah.
And I want to continue to make food that's not exactly what everyone expects, but also is understandable when you get it.
Ooh, give me a couple of examples on the current Eel Bar menu. We're recording this in early September, so I know you swap your menu with some frequency, but what are some dishes that represent this like weird and accessible, this like very unique way of cooking?
We have a menu that is obviously inspired by eating in Spain, and the dishes that we make are never like true representations of that exact thing. I'm not Spanish. I'm not Portuguese, and I don't pretend to be. And we don't want to make something that is like a cosplay version of that. We want to make something that is inspired by the thing, but also represents who we are and kind of represents New York. And I think at Eel Bar, we have a potato salad that is currently has octopus on it. We make a really simple potato salad. It's basically mayonnaise, garlic, and potatoes. And we top it with different things. When we opened, it was just covered in trout roe, which was a big hit. We'll bring back someday. And this is like inspired by potato salad rusa, which is like the Spanish version of Russian potato salad. So this is like our New York version of the Spanish version of the Russian version of potato salad.
Maybe a little bit of like Pensacola floating in there too. Because I'm like, when I had it at the dining room, I was with my friend Luke, and I was like, dude, this is Pensacola a little bit going on here in the best way. This is like a pure compliment. It's delicious salad. I had with octopus, and it was really, really well balanced with acidity and the creaminess. I was like, yeah, this is a little bit of Aaron's home talking.
Yeah, I mean, and you can kind of say the same thing. We have a mussels dish that is mostly on the menu all the time, and it's the same mussel that we have at Eel Bar, but we fry it and we put it back in the shell. And I don't think like fried mussels is specifically a thing in Spain or in Basque Country, but it reads as a Basque dish. And it's spicy and it's acidic and it's all the things that is us, but it's in this kind of package that you can see and look at and be like, oh yeah, that's just
cool.
A dish from Spain, you know? So
yeah. I have to ask you about your canelé. Because canelé is like one of these dishes that a lot of people try, very few execute. My friend Akira Kudo, a chef in LA, has a deep passion for it. And if you follow him on Instagram, he's typically calling out bad canelés. I don't think Akira will care that I mentioned that, but I think yours was just perfect. Talk about like getting this right every single time.
Well, I had canelés in France, southern France, Basque France. And I was just like walking around. I got one, I ate it, and I was blown away. I had never had one before.
Cool.
So like it stuck in my brain. And when we opened, I knew that we wanted to have this on the menu. I am the worst pastry cook ever, and I stay away from it a little bit.
Yeah.
So my sous chef Chase took the challenge on, and it was definitely like a months-long project.
It has to be.
And
truly it has to be.
And he did a really good job and passed it on to our prep cook who makes them every day, Abel. Shout out Abel.
Yeah, Abel.
The best in the world.
Yeah.
And he's even taken them further. It's a simple recipe that everyone says is one of the hardest, most challenging. And I was like, how could it be that hard? And it was a challenge, but now we figured it out.
You get the wax going on, you figured it out.
There's no wax.
No wax used at all.
No, but it's a simple mold. They're stainless steel.
Okay.
They're not cast iron.
Yeah.
I really think that it has to do with temperature of oven.
Yeah.
And moving things around. There are secrets and there are tricks.
Absolutely. It's all
The
about
batter is something that's very simple.
Sure.
And there was some tweaking there, but what it comes down to for us, it's about temperature.
Anybody who is a home baker knows that the batter is the easiest part.
Yeah.
And what I like most about it too is it's a plated dessert. So it's not just like the cannelé that you're going to order at a bakery and point at it and get it in a bag. It's actually you've got peaches and cream.
Currently,
in the summer months, and you'll swap that, I'm sure. And I just love the way those peaches were presented. Delicious.
Yeah. The way that I like to eat dessert and the way that I want to cook dessert or have our restaurants cook dessert, again, is based in simplicity. And we don't have a lot of components to those things. Like this specific cannelé set is cannelés, fresh peaches, double cream, tossed together. It's pretty simple. And at the end of the meal, for me, like I just don't want to eat anything that's complicated. And it fits all the things. It's a little sweet. It's warm.
Yeah.
It's mixed with some cold fruit.
I mean,
Tastes
it's
good.
the texture, man. It's the texture and all the work that you just described goes into just nailing that texture.
Well, thank you.
And not burned either. That's the other thing about cannelés. They can just go a little too dark. And some people may like that, but
I think it's a taste factor.
I think so.
You know, some people really want it to be really, really dark.
Some people
And ours
do.
are very dark.
Yours are dark.
But we have to make food that also people want to eat.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Let me ask you about your chef profile. I have this like pet theory when prepping for this interview, and I read your press, which there wasn't a lot of it. I think you did a great Grub Street diet, but outside of that, there wasn't a lot. And I think like honestly, like 2006, if you were a chef in New York, you'd be a huge chef with Eater and Grub Street and the Village Voice and like the internet, because of the way Cervos and Il Bar are presented. Now, chefs' profiles are different. There's way less outlets covering restaurants in New York, and like it's all about the chef presenting food and having a social profile that presents it. And you kind of don't do that. Your profile is fishing, which I think is dope. So how do you feel about your own place in this like chef culture we're in right now?
Everyone's got to stay in their own lane, and I don't engage in Instagram or Twitter. I don't do that, not because like I'm trying to make a statement or anything. It's because my life and the things that I like to do, I just do them. As far as like having a cooking profile, it's just not that important to me. Sometimes I would like to have an interview, and we're doing that.
Yeah.
But it's just not who I am.
I respect that tremendously, I think, and you know it. You know where you should be.
The thing that's important to me is having restaurants that work and people love. Like that gives me a lot of satisfaction. And continuing to build those restaurants and build our staff and work on the next thing that will happen eventually. But it's not about me, per se.
Refreshing. Thank you for sharing that, Aaron. I know you're not going to spoil a good show and tell us about your next restaurant project, so I'm not going to ask that question, but I want to know, though, yourself, where do you want to be in 10 years with your career? And just conceptually speaking, the group that you have, and really there's so much potential and future for what you've been building as a group at these two restaurants, specifically with you. What themes and maybe cuisines are you thinking about?
I mean, right now, not to spoil anything, but right now, Cervos and Il Bar is perfect for us.
Yeah.
Or for me. And I can't imagine in any near future working on anything else. And in the 10 years from now, I just imagine hopefully having these restaurants continue to be great restaurants. And I think that one thing that I speak a lot about with my partners, Nick, Leah, and Niles, and also Taylor now, is about having institutions. And I don't think that restaurants become institutions without a lot of hard work and a lot of hard decisions. And the way to do that is to continue to be there and to continue to be a part of building what that thing is going to be. We don't want to set it and forget it. And 10 years from now, hopefully Eel Bar is on the same path that Cervos is now, and it's going to take a lot of hard work. You know?
The sentiment is terrific. I love to hear that, and I just want to close and just ask you about entering year 2 for Eel Bar. I think I've tried to express this on the show. For diners need to support restaurants in year 2. I think we're in the fall opening season, and our wonderful friends in the media are covering all the great openings, and we want to support new restaurants. But also, we need to go to restaurants that are in year 2, because year 2 can fucking suck. And like, there's a lot of competition out there in the city. Oh my God. How do you think about these topics of like year 2 and keeping the momentum going when there's a lot of shiny new toys out there?
It's just, you just got to continue to work on it. You have to have blinders on a little bit. I don't know if there's any like tricks or cheat codes involved in like getting through, a dip. And it really just comes down to working hard and keeping your head on straight and continuing to make the thing that you believe in.
No,
I don't know. I don't know if there's much more to it
No,
than that.
you're being straightforward with it. I mean, what about patronage? Like thinking about regulars and becoming a regular at a restaurant. I mean, you have regulars at both your restaurants.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
And how do you think about the regular? But I think it's a little nebulous for New Yorkers because it's all about the new places. And we sometimes forget these year 2 restaurants.
I mean, think about the restaurants that I go to often. I mentioned Roman's before.
Yeah.
I go to Roman's. I love Roman's.
Yeah.
Roman's has an incredible identity that has continued through even, I think, 4 chefs now. And all of those chefs have done a really great job of continuing to kind of pay homage to what it was in the beginning. And that's what we want to continue to do. And that's why people go back. Like, I go back there because I know that I can have really great pasta, which I don't cook myself in the restaurant. So I know that I can go to Chrissy's Pizza, that they've only been open for a year. They're probably in year 2 now. And it's the same high quality, like super tasty thing, The restaurants that I go back to over and over again have continued to work on their quality and also have people that are there in place to work on that, you know? And so for us, building regulars is just continuing to provide them the thing that they came to us for in the beginning, or at least the second time.
Yeah. Well said. Aaron, on This Is Taste, we ask guests about their discerning taste. So to close this interview, here's a little rapid fire, fast and furious taste check. Are you ready?
Okay, rapid fire.
The best fruit.
Best fruit, tomato.
The worst vegetable.
Kale, not because of kale, but what we've done to kale. A vegetable can't be everything. And that's my answer.
What's the worst example of kale that you've seen? Just let's go there.
I mean, kale chips. Come on. No one wants that.
It's one of those recipes you see.
I don't want kale in my smoothie. Please don't.
I will front at putting kale in my smoothie just for fiber. But kale chips, I don't get it, especially making them at home. But bless those who try. What is your typical breakfast?
I don't eat breakfast. Coffee with milk. Water.
I've 7 chefs I've spoken with for various projects in the past month, and every single one said that.
Well, we have to eat. We have a marathon of eating that happens throughout our day.
Yeah.
And for me, if I eat breakfast, it sets my metabolism like on rapid fire, and it makes me want to just eat so much. And then I'm full by the time I'm like fully tasting.
Yeah.
And I'm full during service. And I tell this to my cooks. It gets really hard to cook well when you're really full because you want to be able to eat. So I try to keep it tight in the beginning of the day.
So it's like suppressing that engine from going because you need to be able to taste your way through prep. And then, so are family meals kind of light for you guys with that in mind?
I mean, no, we make family meals that people want to eat. And I try to not eat them.
Do you ever order in for family?
No, not really.
No, you cook usually?
Yeah.
The best dessert?
The best dessert, my mom for my birthday always made a snowball cake, which I don't even know where it came from, but it's very Florida. It's like angel food cake, and there's like pineapple and cherries, and it's like held in some sort of like gelatin.
Oh, cool.
And it's covered with like Cool Whip and coconut. It looks like a snowball. And it's like the thing that I want for dessert only, basically. And just generally, coconut desserts are my secret thing.
Love that.
I love coconut.
When they're good, they're good. I mean,
Yeah.
coconut cream pie, when it's good, it's good. A restaurant you wish you could bring back from the dead?
Prune, probably.
Yeah.
I actually didn't get to eat there very much. I ate there one time.
Mm-hmm.
I should have eaten there more.
Yeah.
And I think that they're still doing something, like some sort of events
They
or
do it- it's like
something
an
in the
event.
space.
Yeah.
But I've recently, because of one of my sous chefs, Theo, he brought the prune book in, and I immediately order it myself. And it's been a real inspiration to me recently. I think that kind of cooking, although what we do is different, there's a through line in the inspiration, and I wish that I could go and have like the real thing.
Yeah.
And maybe one day.
I mean, what a stacked deck of cooks there, too.
Yeah.
In certain eras. Amazing place. Speaking of cookbooks, do you have a favorite cookbook of all time?
I have this one Spanish cookbook that probably is like the biggest inspiration for us in both restaurants. It's called Culinaria Spain. I kind of want to not say it,
Yeah,
but
you can say it. You said it very quickly. So.
and Culinaria makes a bunch of books. There's like a France one. There's and I got this book. I probably bought it on Thrift Books, which is mainly where I get cookbooks from. And I've found myself going back to it over and over and over again. And I love going through a cookbook, usually backwards because I'm looking at pictures. And I like to do it in multiple seasons. And I like see and different things speak to me at different times. And that's the one for me.
Yeah.
We call it the Bible. It's big. It's like a big coffee table book.
It's beat up.
It has like so many pictures and specifically these kind of like a whole page or a fold out page of just like tapas, and it's just like 30 plates of tapas. It's very cool. And I'm surprised no one's making books like this anymore. I'm sure it takes a lot of money and work. But it is.
I'll tell you, we're into putting in the work here at Penguin Random House. The money part, we can talk. Yeah. I think it's
It's so good.
I'm gonna seek this out personally.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Rec. When you're craving fast food, where are you going?
I drive to the Catskills a lot, so that's when I eat that fast food. Unfortunately, I think fast food is really bad.
Yeah.
Just on like the way it tastes. Out of like the main three, like Burger King or Wendy's or McDonald's, I think I seek out the Wendy's exit.
Oh, interesting. Cool.
I think that it's usually better. And unfortunately, I eat it.
Sometimes you got to do it.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It is what it is.
Not a ringing endorsement for Wendy's.
Not McDonald's.
Okay.
I know I've heard some people say McDonald's,
Yeah,
Not
on
for
the
me.
show in particular, we're very pro McDonald's on the show. So just saying that, but it's okay. We aren't.
Yeah.
I'm not judging. I think
Cool.
I have not been to Wendy's in a decade, so I
Yeah.
might. Except I hit the mint frosty one time. That's good.
Yeah, Frosty and French fries.
Oh yeah,
It's pretty good.
that's a simple order.
That is actually very good.
That's the key order there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking about. Your favorite city outside America to visit for food?
Montreal.
Yeah,
Is
right.
that outside of America?
I think
If we
it might be.
consider that.
I very much do.
I love Montreal because super close.
Yep.
It's like an hour flight from here. If you drive, it's 6 hours. And it's literally like going into a totally different country.
Yeah.
It just feels awesome there.
Yeah.
I go there quite a bit, actually. I think I've been like 5 or 6 times. I always end up going in the winter. I wish I would go there in the summer more often. But the amount of restaurants there that are of high quality and in different kind of like tiers of restaurants, it's amazing.
Last one. Your favorite sandwich?
My favorite sandwich can only be eaten over 2 months of the year.
Okay.
Which is a tomato sandwich.
Yeah.
And only during peak tomato season. And all it needs to have on it is bread. Can be like not that good bread or very good bread. Doesn't actually matter. Really good tomato, mayonnaise, and salt and pepper, and that's all I need.
Into that choice. What's the mayonnaise choice, though?
I grew up eating both Hellman's and Duke's, and I love Duke's. and Hellman's is more accessible, and that's what I usually have.
Fair.
But also, homemade mayonnaise is better than both of them.
I would say so, chef. You're going to make your own mayonnaise.
Yeah, I'm the mayo guy.
Spain has some good mayonnaises too.
Absolutely.
I picked one up when I was there as a little red top to it.
Oh, cool.
So I love it. But yeah, make your own mayonnaise.
If you can, but also Hellman's and Duke's are great.
Yeah, Hellman's and Duke's is great. Aaron Crowder, thank you so much for joining This Is Taste.
Thanks so much for having me.
This Is Taste is hosted and produced by Eliza Barbanel and me, Matt Rodbard. The show is edited by lead producer Clayton Gumbert and supervised by Pat Stango, Director of Media Production and Development at Penguin Random House. Thanks to Shalia Harris and the production team at Penguin Random House. Theme music by Steve Rydell. Logo and guest illustrations by Ellie Skurzat. Visit Taste online at tastecooking.com and make sure to subscribe to our newsletter to keep updated on all cool things in the world of taste.